Hey now, YouTube, what's going on out there? I just got off of a 4-day pack rafting trip on the mighty Rio Grande River. I shot a little bit of video while I was down there. Hope you enjoy it. If so, please hit that like and subscribe button and I'll keep making more of these. Alright, here you go. After setting up our shuttle and picking up our permits from park headquarters, we headed down to our launch point at Rio Grande Village. It was early afternoon when we finally blew up our boats and got on the water. About a mile in, we came to Boquillas Crossing. During normal times, park visitors can take a rowboat over to the village of Boquillas del Carmen on the Mexican side, where they can frequent their many shops and taco stands. However, due to the coronavirus, the crossing has been temporarily closed. The first few miles were slow and meandering through the open desert. After about 4 miles, though, we could see the mouth of Boquillas Canyon. We then entered the belly of the beast. We made it a couple miles into Boquillas Canyon that first day before deciding to stop and set up camp. The wind really picked up that night, but we found a sheltered spot away from camp where we could have a small fire. On a quick trip back towards camp for our dinner, Belinda noticed that my boat was missing. Despite having put some large rocks inside it, the wind had blown it away. Luckily, with the aid of our headlamps, we were able to spot it on the other side of the river. Thankfully, I was able to paddle over and retrieve it. Otherwise, it would have been a long swim out. Early next morning, we were greeted by this Mexican cowboy. He was on his way downriver to round up a few horses that had been left out to graze. I was amazed at the terrain that he had ridden just to get to this point. This was just the beginning of his day, though. We'd see him again several miles downriver. The river was running at about 120 CFS per minute. A respectable level for pack rafts, but I don't think I'd want to do it at anything lower. After rounding a corner, we ran into our old cowpoke friend again. He was driving a few horses back upriver towards Boquillas. Again, I was amazed with this guy's skills. He must have rode about 20 miles this day, crossing the river countless times. I had a little chuckle to myself thinking about all the urban cowboys I've met, with their fancy lids and their Tony Lama boots. most of whom have probably never even been on a horse, let alone ridden one through terrain like this. in his old tennis shoes and an Under Armour hoodie. This was just a Tuesday afternoon to this fella. Covered about 10 river miles the second day. Some parts lazy floating. Other parts a little more exciting. But all in all, a wonderful day. We pulled off the river just before sunset. Found a beautiful campsite right next to the water. We woke up well rested the next morning, grabbed a quick breakfast and a cup of coffee, and we prepared for another long day of paddling and hiking. Is my coffee ready? There were endless side canyons to be explored. Some of them ending abruptly in cliffs, while others stretched on for miles, occasionally pinching down into narrow slots. The fourth and last day of our trip had the most exciting paddling of all. On the 34-mile section that we did, most of the rapids were basically concentrated in the last four. It was a great way to end the trip. For some of us, anyways. The old bridge at Keith Canyon Ranch was our cue to exit the river and head back to civilization.